Translated by Peter Avery and John Heath Stubbs. Read by Mumbles Undertone McFlurry Breath. Although I have a handsome face and color, cheeks like the tulips, form like the cypress, it is not clear why the eternal painter thus tricked me out for the dusty show booth of earth. He began my creation with constraint. By giving me life, he added only confusion. We depart reluctantly, still not knowing the aim of birth, existence, departure. Heaven's wheel gained nothing from my coming, nor did my going augment its dignity, nor did my ears hear from anyone why I had come and why I went. O heart, you will not arrive at solving of the riddle. You will not reach the goal the wise in their subtlety seek. Make do here with wine and the cup of bliss, for you may and you may not arrive at bliss hereafter. If a heart could grasp the meaning of life in death, it would know the mystery of God. Today, when you are in possession of yourself, you know nothing. Tomorrow, when you leave yourself behind, what will you know? How long shall I lay bricks on the face of the seas? I am sick of idolaters and the temple. Khayyam, who said that there will be a hell. Who's been to hell? Who's been to heaven? Neither you nor I know the mysteries of eternity. Neither you nor I read this enigma. You and I only talk this side of the veil. When the veil falls, neither you nor I will be here. This ocean of being has come from the obscure. No one has pierced this jewel of reality. Each has spoken according to his humor. No one can define the face of things. The bodies that occupy the celestial vault, these give rise to the wise men's uncertainties. Take care not to lose your grip on the thread of wisdom, since the powers that be themselves are in a spin. The cycle, which includes our coming and going, has no discernible beginning nor end. Nobody has got this matter straight, where we come from and where we go to. Since the upholder embellishes the material of things, for what reason does he cast it into diminution and decay? If it turned out good, why break it? If the form turned out bad, whose fault was it? Those who dominated the circle of learning and culture in the company of the perfect became lamps among their peers. By daylight they could not escape from the darkness, so they told the fable and went to sleep. Those, boy, who went before have been laid in the dust of self-delusion. Go, drink wine, and hear the truth from me. It was all hot air they spoke. The uninformed who pierced the pearl of meaning spoke concerning the wheel with a variety of opinions, not encompassing the secrets of the world. They first bragged, and then lay silent. A bull is next to the Pleiades in the sky. Another bull is hidden below the earth. If you are not blind, open your eyes to the truth. Below and above the two bulls is a drove of donkeys. Today is the time of my youth. I drink wine because it is my solace. Do not blame me, although bitter it is pleasant. It is bitter because it is my life. If my coming here were my will, I would not have come. Also, if my departure were my will, how should I go? Nothing could be better in this ruined lodging than not to have come, not to be, not to go. What is the gain of our coming and going? Where is the weft of our life's warp? In the circle of the spheres, the lives of the so many good men burn and become dust. But where is the smoke? The pity of it that we should be shriveled away, to be cut down by the sickle of the spheres. Ah, the pity, ah, the sorrow, in the twinkling of an eye, our desires unassuaged, we are blotted out. Though you may have lain with a mistress all of your life, tasted the sweets of the world all your life, still the end of the affair will be your departure. It was a dream that you dreamed all your life. Now, when only the name of happiness is left, no ripe comrade remaining but the rough wine, keep the happy hand clenched to the wine jug, today when the jug is all that the hand has got. If only there were occasion for repose, if only this long road had an end, and in the track of 100,000 years, out of the hearts of dust, hope sprang again like greenness. Since all a man gets in this place of two doors is only a heart of sorrow and the giving up of life, he who never lived a moment is happy. That man is at peace whose mother never bore him. Whoever set up the earth and the wheel of the firmament branded so many hearts with sorrow, many a ruby lip and musk-scented tress, he put on this drum of earth and in this coffer of dust. If the firmament were in my hands, as in God's, I would have raised it from the midst. I would have made another firmament such that the free of heart might easily attain their desire. The characters of all creatures are on the tablet, the pen always worn with writing good, bad. Our grieving and striving are in vain. Before time began, all that was necessary was given. Since a day or a life cannot be lengthened or shortened, we should not distress ourselves with the more and the less. It cannot be that your affairs and mine are shaped as we would judge wax in our own hands. As the stars have no increase but sorrow, they restore nothing without taking away again. If the unborn could know what we suffer from the universe, they would not come at all. You who are the product of the 4 elements and 7 planets, and because of that 4 and this 7 in perpetual agitation, drink wine. I have told you more than 1,000 times, there is no coming back for you. When you are gone, you are gone. While my dust was being tempered in the mold, the dust of much trouble was raised. I cannot be better than I am. I am as I was poured from the crucible. How long will you talk of the mosque lamp and fire temple smoke? How long of hell's loss and heaven's profit? Go, see on the tablet how the master of fate has written what will be before time began. O heart, since the world's reality is illusion, how long will you complain about this torment? Resign your body to fate and put up with pain, because what the pen has written for you it will not unwrite. The firmament secretly whispered in my heart, do you know what the sentence fate laid on me? If my revolving were in my control, I would release myself from this circling. The good and evil that are in man's heart, the joy and sorrow that are our fortune and destiny, do not impute them to the wheel of heaven, because, in the light of reason, the wheel is 1,000 times more helpless than you. Alas, the book of youth is finished. The fresh spring of life has become winter, that state which they call youth. It is not perceptible when it began and when it closed. What a grief that our capital should have been exhausted. At the foot of doom many a heart lies broken. No one has returned from that world for us to ask him how the travelers of this world fare there. When we were children, we went to the master for a time. For a time we were beguiled with our own mastery. Here the end of the matter, what befell us. We came like water, and we went like wind. Convivial friends have all gone. Death has trampled them down one after another. We were in one wine bout at life's party. They got drunk a round or so ahead of us. O wheel of heaven, destruction comes from your malice. Practicing injustice is your ancient trade. Woe to earth if your breast were split open. What a precious stone indeed must lie there. Since the wheel turns at no wise man's will, no matter if you count the spheres 7 or 8. Since we must die and all desire vanish, no matter whether the ant feeds in the grave or the wolf above the ground. There was a water drop. It joined the sea. A speck of dust. It was fused with earth. What of your entering and leaving this world? A fly appeared and disappeared. You asked, what is this transient pattern? If we tell the truth of it, it will be a long story. It is a pattern that came up out of an ocean and in a moment returned to that ocean's depth. It is a bowl the creative reason casts, pressing in tenderness 100 kisses on its brain. This cosmic potter makes such a rare bowl, then throws it back again to the ground. The parts of a cup which are joined together, the drunkard's does not hold it lawful to break. So many delicate hands, legs, hands, though whose love were they joined, by whose hatred smashed? Though the world is tricked out for you, do not make for what the wise shun. Many like you come and many go. Snatch your share before you are snatched away. Of all who went on this long road, where is the one who has returned to tell us the secret? Take care to leave nothing for your needs on this two-ended way. You will not be coming back. Drink wine, you will lie long enough under the ground, without companion, friend, or comrade. Take care you tell no one this hidden secret. No lily that withers will bloom again. I saw an old man in the wine shop. I said, have you any news of those who have gone? He replied, take some wine, because like us many have gone, none has come back. Much have I wandered about far and wide. I have wandered as far as every horizon. I have heard of nobody who came from this road. The road he went by, the road of no return. We are the puppets, and the firmament is the puppet master, in actual fact and not as a metaphor. For a time we acted on this stage. We went back one by one into the box of oblivion. Oh, what a long time we shall not be, and the world will endure. Neither name nor sign of us will exist. Before this we were not, and there was no deficiency. After this, when we are not, it will be the same as before. On the surface of the earth I see only sleepers. Under the earth I see those put away. The more I scan the void of oblivion, I only see the departed and the unborn. This is an old inn whose name is the world. It is the pine-balled rest house of the night and day. It is the banquet of the leftovers of 100 Jamshids, the grave of the bedchamber of 100 Bahrams. That palace where Bahram took the cup in hand, the antelope has made its couching place and the fox its earth. Bahram, who hunted the wild ass all his life, see how the grave has hunted him down. I saw a bird alighted on the city walls of Tus, grasping in its claws Kayakaos's head. It was saying to that head, shame, shame. Where now the sound of the bells and the boom of the drum? That place which once vied with heaven, whose threshold kings touched with their foreheads, we saw on its battlements a ring-dove, perched, saying, coo, coo. Where, where? When your dear soul and mine have left the body, they will set on our graves 2 tiles, and then, for the tiles on others' graves, they will set your dust and mine in a mold. Every particle of dust on a patch of earth was a sun cheek or brow of the morning star. Shake the dust off your sleeve carefully. That too was a delicate, fair face. Oh, wise elder, get up early in the morning. Look closely at that boy sifting dust. Advise him, gently, gently sift the brains of Kaikobad and eyes of Praviz. Look, the morning breeze has torn the rose's dress. The nightingale is in ecstasy at the rose's beauty. Sit in the rose's shade, for many such have come from earth and to it returned. The cloud came and wept on the greenness. O rose-hued wine, there is no living without you. This green is our pleasure ground today, but whose pleasure ground will be the green springing from our dust? When the cloud washes the tulip's cheek at New Year, get up and make firmly for the wine cup, because this green spot that today is your pleasure ground, tomorrow will all be growing out of your dust. All the plants that grow beside the stream have surely grown from angels' lips. Tread roughly on no plant, for it has sprung out of the dust of the tulip-cheeked. Drink wine, since for our destruction the firmament has got its eye on our precious souls. Sit where it is green and enjoy the sparkling liquor, because this grass will grow nicely from your dust and mine. I saw a man working on a building site. He was stamping down the clay. The clay protested, "Stop it, you like me will be stamped on by many a foot." O heart seeker, raise the cup and the jug, go back to the meadows on the stream's verge. This wheel has made many a radiant-cheeked idol form over and over again into cups and jugs. Last night I smashed an earthen-worn pot on the stones. I was drunk when I committed this folly. The pot protested, "I was like you. You will be like me also." From that wine jug, which has no harm in it, fill a bowl, boy, drink and pass it to me, before by some wayside a potter uses your clay and mine for such a jug. I passed by a potter the day before last. He was ceaselessly plying his skill with the clay, and what the blind do not see, I could, my father's clay in every potter's hand. Stop, potter, if you have any sense. How long will you debase man's clay? You have put Firdun's finger at Kaikurahasura's hand on the wheel. What do you think you are doing? I watched a potter in his workplace, saw the master, his foot on the wheel's treadle. Unabashed, he was making a jug's lid and handle from a king's head and a beggar's hand. This jug was love-sick like me, tangled in a fair girl's locks. This handle you now see on its neck was his hand on the neck of the girl. I was in the potter's shop last night, and saw 2,000 jugs, some speaking, some dumb. Each was anxiously asking, "Where is the potter and the buyer and seller of pots?" If I'm drunk on forbidden wine, so I am. And if I'm an unbeliever, a pagan, or idolater, So I am. Every sect has its own suspicions of me. I myself am just what I am. My rule of life is to drink and to be merry. To be free from belief and unbelief is my religion. I asked the bride of destiny her bride price. Your joyous heart, she said. I cannot live without the sparkling vintage, cannot bear the body's burden without wine. I am a slave to that last gasp when the wine server says, have another, and I can't. Tonight I will make a ton of wine, set myself up with 2 bowls of it. First I will divorce absolutely reason and religion, then take to wife the daughter of the vine. When I am dead, scatter my dust and make my condition an example to men. Moisten my dust with wine to make the seal on a vat out of my corpse. Wash me in wine when I go. For my burial service use a text concerning wine. Would you find me on the day of doom, look for me in the dust at the wine shop's door. I drink so much wine, its aroma will rise from the dust when I'm under it. Should a topper come upon my dust, the fragrance from my corpse will make him roaring drunk. The day when my life's branch is uprooted and my members are dispersed, should my clay be used to make a cup, it would come to life as soon as it was filled with wine. When I am prostrate at the feet of doom, my hope of life torn up by the root, take care to use my clay only for a goblet. The smell of wine might restore me life for a moment. When you are in convivial company, you must remember ardently your friend. When you are drinking mellow wine together, and my turn comes, invert the glass. The captives of intellect and of the nice distinction, worrying about being and non-being themselves, become nothing. You with the news go and seek out the juice of the vine. Those without it wither before they are ripe. O canon jurist, we work better than you. With all this drunkenness, we're more sober. You drink men's blood, we the vines. Be honest, which of us is more bloodthirsty? A religious man said to a whore, you're drunk, caught every moment in a different snare. She replied, O Shaykha, I am what you say. Are you what you seem? They say lovers and drunkards go to hell, a controversial dictum not easy to accept. If the lover and drunkard are for hell, tomorrow paradise will be empty. They promise there will be a paradise in the hoary-eyed where clear wine and honey will flow. Should we prefer wine and a lover? What's the harm? Are not these the final recompense? They say there is paradise with the houris and the river, wine freshest, milk sweet, and honey. Fill the wine cup, put it in my hand. Cash is better than 1,000 promises. They say avarice makes the gardens of paradise delicious. I say that the juice of the vine is delicious. Take this cash and reject that credit. The sound of a distant drum, brother, is sweet. Nobody, heart, has seen heaven or hell. Tell me, dear, who has returned from there? Our hopes and fears are on something of which, my dear, there is no indication but the name. I do not know whether he who shaped me made me for heaven or grim hell. A cup, a lover, and music on the field's verge. These 3 are my cash. Heaven, your IOU. Since in this sphere we have no abiding place, to be without wine and a lover is a mistake. How long shall hopes and fears persist, whether the world is created or eternal? When I am gone, created and eternal worlds are the same. Since at first my coming was not at my will, and the going is involuntarily imposed, arise, fasten your belt, brisk wine boy, I'll drown the world's sorrow in wine. When life comes to an end, it will be the same in Baghdad or Balkh. When the cup brims over, it is the same if sweet or bitter. Be glad, because after our time, many a moon will grow full and then wane. Go only the way of tavern roisterer, seek for girls, wine, and music, wine cup in hand, the wine skin on the shoulder. Drink the wine, my darling, and stop chattering. Boy, my longing has become clamorous. My drunkenness goes beyond all bounds. My gray-haired head is besotted by your wine. An old man's heart is once more spring. I need a jug of wine and a book of poetry, half a loaf for a bite to eat. Then you and I, seated in a deserted spot, will have more wealth than a sultan's realm. I know being and non-being's outward form. I know every exaltation and depression's inwardness. With all this knowledge, may I be ashamed to know any stage beyond drunkenness. I still have a breath left, thanks to the wine boy's care, but of consorting with men only their ingratitude remains. No more than 1 cup of last night's wine is left, but of life I don't know how much more there is. O you without knowledge, the corporeal shape is nothing, and this dome of the 9 charted spheres is nothing. Take comfort in the place of being and decay. We are creatures of a single moment, also nothing. You have seen the world, and all you saw was nothing. All you have said and heard, that too is nothing. Running from pole to pole, there was nothing, and when you lurked at home, there was also nothing. Suppose the world went as you wanted, then what? And suppose this book of life were read through, then what? Let me suppose a century of self-gratification left, even supposing we had a century more, then what? I saw a waster sitting on a patch of ground, heedless of belief and unbelief, the world and the faith, no God, no truth, no divine law, no certitude. Who in either of the worlds has the courage of this man? Let us consider this wheel of heaven that amazes us as if it were a diorama, the sun the candle, the world the lanthorn. Then we are like the images revolving on its walls. Since all that is leaves us empty-handed, the only return from all that is loss and ruin, it can be supposed that what the world has not is, and what it has is not. See what I've got from the world, nothing. The fruit of my life's work, nothing. I am the light of the party, but when I sit down, I am nothing. I am a wine pot, but when I'm broken, nothing. It is a flash from the stage of non-belief to faith. It is a flash from the stage of non-belief to faith. There is no more than a syllable between doubt and certainty. Prize this precious moment dearly. It is our life's only fruit. Go for pleasure, life only gives a moment. It's every atom from a Kaikobad's or a Jamshid's dust. The world's phenomena and life's essence are all a dream, a fancy, and a moment's deception. Nobody has known anything better than sparkling wine. Since the morning star and the moon graced the sky, wine sellers astonish me because what can they buy better than what they sell? The moonbeam splinters night's skirt with light. Drink wine, there is no better time than this. Be glad, but remember how long for moonbeams there'll only be your grave and mine to shine on. Since nobody has a lien on tomorrow, gladden the sad heart now. Drink wine in the moonlight, my dear, because the moon will revolve a long time and not find us. The year's caravan goes by swiftly. Seize the cheerful moment. Why sorrow, boy, over tomorrow's grief for friends? Bring out the cup, the night passes. Do you know why the cock crows so early in the whiteness of dawn? He tells that the morning's mirror shows one more night of life gone, and you, heedless. Get up, my sweetest, it is dawn. Gently, gently sip the wine and twang the harp, for not a soul will remain of those here, and of those gone none will return. Happy sweetheart at dawn, sing a snatch and bring out the wine. A legion of Caius and Jamshids have turned to dust, but summer's on the way and winter is past. It is morning. Let us pour out the rose-red wine, smashing on the rocks the glass of fame and reputation. Let us draw back from much projected hopes, turning towards long tresses and the string of the harp. A nice day, neither too hot nor cold, clouds sprinkling the dust from cheeks that were rose gardens. The nightingale in the old tongue of Persia cries out to the yellow rose, wine is for wassail. The season of roses, the brook's edge, the margin of the field, with 2 or 3 fresh, houri-like girls. Bring out the wine, because drinkers of the morning drought disregard the mosque and are exempt from paradise. The New Year breeze is delicious on the rose's cheek. In the wide meadow fair is the face of the inflamer of hearts. Anything you can say about the day that is past is bad. Be happy and do not talk of yesterday. Today is good. Flowers and grass are delightfully fresh. Boy, enjoy them. In a week they'll be dried up. Drink wine and pluck a flower, since while you look the rose withers and the greenness fades. Take the cup in your hand as the tulip at New Year does. If you have the chance, gleefully gulp wine, with the tulip cheeked, for this blue wheel brings you down to dust suddenly enough. Whenever the violet tinctures its robe with dye, and the breeze is strumming among the roses, he is sensible sober who drinks wine with the silver-breasted, then smashes the glass on the stones. Get up and leave the passing world's regret. Be glad and make a moment pass in glee. If the world's nature had a hint of fidelity, your turn would not come for you at all as it did for others. In the circle of the unfathomable sphere, drink heartedly, because the cup is going the round. When your turn is reached, do not complain. All are made to taste when this cup comes around. To escape from the learned schools is best, and best to hang on the sweetheart's tresses before fortune drains your blood away. It is best to empty the bottles into your glass. The days of time disdain him who sits sorrowing over the grief of the time. Drink a glass of wine to the notes of the harp before all glasses are smashed on rock. Spring's arrival and winter's departure turn the pages of our book of life. Drink wine, not tears, the sage had said. Wine is the antidote for sorrow's poison. Before the world forgets your name, drink wine. It drives sorrow from the heart, and before your limbs fall away joint by joint, unwind the beauty's tresses, ringlet by ringlet. Come, friend, let us lose tomorrow's grief and seize this moment of life. Tomorrow this ancient inn abandoned. We shall be equal with those born 7,000 years ago. Be silent, you are beneath unscrupulous stars. Drink wine, you are in a world of calamities. Since your beginning and end are only of dust, do not imagine you are on the earth, but in it. Put wine into my hand, my heart is tormented, and fleet-footed life is like quicksilver. Beware, the fire of youth is water. Watch fortunes waking in sleep. Drink wine, this is life eternal, this all that youth will give you. It is the season for wine, roses and friends drinking together. Be happy for this moment, it is all life is. Make wine your intimate, it is Mahmud's kingdom, and listen to the harp, it is King David's psalmody. Forget those who have been and gone. Make the present happy. This is the aim. Today, tomorrow is not within your reach. To think of it is only morbid. If the heart is awake, do not waste this moment. There is no proof of life's continuance. The world's gyrations without wine and its server are pointless. Nothing without the wail of an Iraqi flute. The more I look at the world's condition, to be convivial is the answer, the rest nothing. How long shall I grieve for what I have or have not, over whether to pass my life in pleasure? Fill the wine bowl, it is not certain that I shall breathe out again the breath I now draw. If we don't clap hands together as one, we cannot tread down sorrow with our feet in joy. Let us go on and be happy before the breath of dawn. Many a day will break when we breathe no more. In the extremity of desire I put my lips to the pots to seek the elixir of life. It put its lips on mine and murmured, "Enjoy the wine. You'll not be here again." Khayyam, if you are drunk on wine, enjoy it. If you are with the tulip-cheeked, enjoy her. Since the world's busyness ends in nothing, think that you are not, and while you are, enjoy it. Tomorrow I will haul down the flag of hypocrisy. I will devote my gray hairs to wine. My life span has reached 70. If I don't enjoy myself now, when shall I? The globe is the image of a ball compacted of our bones, the oxus a trickle of our distilled tears. Hell is a spark from our consuming torments, paradise a moment from our space of reprieve. How long will you live in self-love or run after being and non-being? Drink wine. A life so dogged by sorrow is best spent in sleep or drunkenness. Rise up, my love, and solve our problem by your beauty. Bring a jug of wine to clear our heart, so that we may drink together before wine jugs are made of our clay. They call the Koran the ultimate word. They read it occasionally, but not all the time. A text stands round the inside of the cup. This they con at all times and in all places. Although you do not drink wine, don't be hard on toppers. Don't lay snares to catch them out. Don't boast of not drinking. You devour many a morsel to which wine is a mere subsidiary. Here we are with wine, music, in this broken down corner, heart, soul, the cup, clothes stained with wine, dredged, void of hope, of mercy, and fear of punishment, free from earth, air, fire, and water. Now that your flower of happiness has come to fruition, why is your hand not occupied with the wine cup? Drink wine, because time is a treacherous enemy. Coming upon such a day as this is not easy. Oh, you come hot foot from the spiritual world, distracted by the 5 senses, 4 elements, 6 causes, and 7 planets. Drink wine, since you do not know where you are from. Be happy, you do not know where you will go. O heart, since time's passing grieves you, and your pure spirit so unseasonably leaves the body, sit on the green, spend a few days in happiness before the green grass springs from your dust. This pot a workman drinks from is made from the eyes of a king, the heart of a vizier. A wine bowl in a drunkard's palm is made from a cheek flushed with wine and a lady's lip. Those few odd days of life have passed like water down the brook, wind across the desert. There are 2 days I have never been plagued with regret for: yesterday that has gone, tomorrow that will come. Before you and I did, night and day existed. The revolving heavens were busy. Where you set your foot on the face of the ground was the pupil of the eye of a sweetheart. When the conjunctions of matter are working in your favor a moment, go and live happily. You did not choose your lot. Keep company with men of science, since your bodily properties are a speck of dust joined with a puff of air, a mote with a gasp of breath. When the drunken nightingale found his way into the garden, he discovered the face of the rose and the wine cup laughing. He came to whisper in my ear excitedly, "Seek out these. Life, once gone, cannot be sought again." Since neither truth nor certainty is granted, you cannot sit in doubtful hope all your life. Let us be careful not to set the wine cup aside, since a man is in ignorance, drunk or sober. The dust under every fool's foot is a darling's upturned hand and a sweetheart's cheek. Every brick that tops an ark is the finger of a vizier or a royal head. No one knows the way through the curtain of mysteries. No one soul has true knowledge of this natural life. There is no resting place but in the heart of earth. Drink wine, because these tales are never finished. I was asleep, a wise man said to me. The rose of joy does not bloom for slumberers. Why are you asleep? Sleep is the image of death. Drink wine. Below the ground you must sleep of necessity. In spring, if a houri like sweetheart gives me a cup of wine on the edge of a green cornfield, though to the vulgar this would be blasphemy, if I mentioned any other paradise I'd be worse than a dog. Know for certainty that you'll be separated from the soul. You'll go behind the curtain of the mysteries of extinction. Drink wine. You don't know where you have come from. Be happy. You don't know where you will go to. I live a life that is overcast. All my affairs are in a tangle. Disasters increase, ease decreases. God be thanked for what causes our troubles. He alone is unanswerable to us. Though the 5 cords of fortune support your prop of stability, and on your body's life a fine garment, in the tent of the body which is your shelter, don't be secure. Its 4 pegs are unstable. Wine is liquid ruby, the flask the mine. The cup is the body, the wine the soul. That crystal goblet laughing with wine is a tear, the heart's blood hidden inside it. Every plain where tulips bloomed was reddened by a prince's blood. Every knot of violets springing from the earth was a beauty patch on a darling's cheek. A draught of wine is better than Chaos's kingdom and the throne of Kubad, the old realm of Tus. Every groan the waster heaves up at dawn is better than a hypocrite devotee litany. What was sported with on the field of causality was not there when the rules of the game were laid down. It was thrown in today by way of pretext. Tomorrow all will be as was set up before. Those who have grown old and those who are young, each runs his course at his own desire. This old world is not permanent for anyone. They have gone, and we shall go also. Others will come, and they will go too. One is fetched out, and another snatched away. The secret of being is not disclosed to anyone. By destiny only this amount is allotted to us, the brief measure of our lifetime. Suffering ennobles a man. Enduring the oyster shell's prison makes a pearl of a water drop. Though worldly goods perish, let your head remain like a cup. When the cup is empty, it may be filled again. This reason which seeks the way of bliss says again and again to you, seize this moment which is yours. You are not that herb which is cut down only to flourish anew. My back is bent by time. All my affairs go awry. Life was ready to depart, I said. Don't go. It replied, what else can I do if the house is falling down? Nobody has mastered the wheel of the firmament. Earth is never glutted feeding on men. You boast it has not eaten you. Don't speak too soon. It's early yet. It will. The pen of destiny is made to write my record without me. Why are its good and bad accounted to me? Yesterday without me, and today likewise with neither you nor me. Tomorrow on what evidence shall I be summoned before the judge? How long will you be enthralled by color and scent, running after the foul or the fair? Though you be the fountain of Zamzam or the water of life, you will sink at last to the depths of the earth. Nothing is gained until you follow the path of one in utter poverty. Nothing is gained unless tears of blood wash your cheek. Why inflame desire? Nothing is possible till you abandon selfhood freely like the pure whose hearts are consumed away. The living God who has the power to make skulls and faces always botches his work. They say a maker of wine jars can be no good Muslim. What is to be said of him who makes the gourd? When the world is filled with the rumor of the fresh rose, command, love, the wine and the copiously poured. Don't bother about Horace's heavenly mansions, paradise, hell. They are all rumor too. Anybody who in this world has half a loaf and a home in which to live is no man's master and no man's slave. Say to him, be happy always, for he possesses a world of happiness. The husbandman of destiny has sown and reaped many likas. Grieving is vain and brings no profit. Fill the wine cup and put it in my hand quickly, for me to drink again, since all that has to be has been. Before you are taken in ambush, order the rose-hued wine to be fetched. You're not gold, you silly fool, to be buried in the ground and then brought out again. Nobody has uncovered the difficulties of death's mystery, nor taken one step beyond what was decreed. I survey all from tyros to masters. Impotence is in the grasp of all born of women. Do not expect much of the world and live contented. Ignore the good and ill that time brings. Take wine in your hand and a sweet girl's tresses, for they quickly go, and these few days do not last. My sorrows and pain make a long story, but your liveliness and joy can rise above them. Don't rely on either. The turns of the firmament have 1,000 varieties of show behind the curtain. The sky's vault only brings flowers out of earth to crush them and consign them to earth again. If the clouds took up dust as they do water, they would rain till doomsday the blood of those we have loved. When a moment of life goes by, let it only pass in joy. Be careful, for the stock in trade of this world's market is the life you purchase for yourself. They say all those who cultivate abstinence are resurrected like the men they died. In that case, we cultivate wine and girls all the time, to be awakened at the resurrection the same as we were. Drink wine, it stops you thinking about the many and the one. Dispel thoughts about the 72 jarring sects. Don't abstain the psychic you get. In one draught of it rids you of 1,000 sicknesses. All the secrets a wise heart has must be more hidden than the phoenix is, because concealment in the oyster shell makes the pearl from that water drop that comes from the depths of the ocean. Every morning when the dew washes the face of the tulip, the violet's stem droops in the meadow, but truly I prefer that bud which stands erect, its skirts drawn in unruffled. My mind has never lacked learning. Few mysteries remain unconned. I have meditated for 72 years, night and day, to learn that nothing has been learned at all. One grain of hope alone remains on the threshing floor, though the gardens and palaces will stay after you and I are gone. Spend all you have among friends from the pound to the penny, for if you don't, it will be left for your enemies. One cup of wine is worth 100 hearts and religions, one sip worth the realm of China. Apart from ruby wine on the earth's expanse, no other bitter thing exists worth thousands of sweet souls. If all a man gets in 2 days is one loaf and a drop of cold water from a cracked pitcher, why should you serve those less than you are? Why must you serve those who are your equals? Bring that ruby in a plain glass, and bring my boon companion and friend of the free. Since you know that the days of this world of dust are a wind which quickly passes, fetch the wine. What have you to do with being, friend, and empty opinions about the notion of mind and spirit? Joyfully live and let the world pass happily. The beginning of the matter was not arranged with you in mind. O heart, do not grieve over this worn-out world. You are not aimless. Do not indulge in aimless sorrows. Since it is not clear what has gone and what has not, be happy. Don't grieve over what was and what was not. Take it, heart, that all the world's trappings are one, that your pleasure garden is decked out in green. Then, seated one night like the dew on that greenness, take it that the dawn has already risen. The dead are changed into earth and dust, each particle separated from the others. Ah, what is this wine they have drunk, that till the day of doom they have lost consciousness and knowledge of all things? The tile on top of the wine vat is happier than the empire of Jamshid. The cup's fragrance more delicious than Mary's food. The sigh at morning from a drunkard's heart, the more blessed than the dirges of Abu Sa'id and Adham. Drink wine that is life everlasting, the source of youthful delight. It burns like fire, but puts an end to grief. It's like the water of life. Drink it. If you drink wine, do it with men of sense, or drink with a tulip-cheeked paragon of girlhood. Don't overdo it, or make it your constant refrain, or give the show away. Drink in moderation occasionally and in private. Get up, lad. It is dawn. Fill the crystal goblet with the ruby wine. In this hole and corner of transience you will seek this borrowed moment, long and never find it. From this globe of black clay to Saturn's uttermost orbit I have solved all the puzzles of the universe, unraveled the difficult knots by various devices. Every fetter has been unloosed except the fetter of death. In the company of the cypress form, fresher than a gathering of roses, don't lose your grasp on the wine jug or the skirt of the rose, till that moment when the wind of death untimely rips open the mantle of your life, like that of the rose. Awake from sleep that we may have one drink of wine, before time's brutal potion is handed to us, since the sudden turns of this tyrannical wheel do not leave enough time even for a sip of water. I will arise and betake myself to the bright wine, till I color my cheeks red as a berry. As I do in my dreams, I will slap this officious reason in the face with wine in hand. How long are we to be prisoners of work-day reason? What difference does it make if we are here 100 years or one day? Pour wine into the bowl before we are turned into wine bowls in the potter's shop. I cannot hide what stands out in a mile. I cannot tell the mysteries of time. My intellect dredges from thought's ocean, a pearl which I fear to thread. My enemies mistakenly call me a philosopher. God knows I'm not what he says. But since I have come to this abode of sorrow, I am too insignificant to know what I am. It is we who are the source of our own happiness, the mine of our own sorrow, the repository of justice and foundation of iniquity. We who are cast down, it is we who are the source of our own happiness, the mine of our own sorrow, the repository of justice and foundation of iniquity. We who are cast down and exalted, perfect and defective, at once the rusted mirror and Jamshid's all-seeing cup. I drink no wine, but not because I'm poor, nor get drunk, though not through fear of scandal. I drank to lighten my heart, but now that you have settled in my heart, I drink no more. Every now and then someone comes along saying, "It is I." He arrives with favors, silver and gold, saying, "It is I." When his little affair is sorted out for a day, death suddenly jumps out of an ambush, saying, "It is I." I am not free one single day from bondage to the world. Get not one breath of joy from all my existence. I have served a long apprenticeship to time, but am still no master of this world's business. Don't seek to recall yesterday that is past, nor repine for tomorrow which has not yet come. Don't build your hopes on the past or the future. Be happy now and don't live on wind. Oh, you are not blind. See the grave, and see this world full of distraction and bitterness. Kings' heads and princes are under the clay. See moon-bright faces in the jaws of ants. Since a man's gain in this salt marsh is nothing to life's uprooting but misery, he who leaves this world soon is happy of heart, and he who never entered it at peace. Since in this halting place there is no justice, and there will be nothing but empty air in the hand, I'm off. Those alone who escape the grasp of death can rejoice at my death. To be content like a vulture with a bone is better than being the uninvited guest at nobody's feast. To be with your own barley bread is certainly better than to be polluted by the confections of non-entities. One lot cogitates on the way of religion, another ponders on the path of mystical certainty, but I fear one day the cry will go up, "Oh, you fools, neither this nor that is the way." Pay no heed to the tattle of time's servants. Call for wine, strained by the gaily dressed wine-server. Those who came have departed one by one, and there's no sign that any have returned. Drinking wine and consorting with good fellows is better than practicing the ascetic's hypocrisy. If the lover and drunkard are to be among the damned, then no one will see the face of heaven. Let not sorrow wither the joyful heart, nor stones of affliction wear away your season of happiness. Nobody knows the hidden future. Wine, a lover, and enjoying the heart's desire are all you need. Short measures are best of everything except wine, and wine is best from the hand of courtly beauties. Drunkenness, no restraint, apostasy are best. Of all things between heaven and earth, one draught of wine is best. One draught of old wine is preferable to a new empire. It is best to get out of any way not the way of wine. The last of the wine is 100 times better than Feridun's throne, the clay lid of a wine vat better than Kaikhorn's kingdom. These worldly goods which you need for use, it is permitted that you should strive to get them. But laying up what you have not gained by your own efforts is worthless. Beware lest you barter your days for that. I once bought a pot from a potter which told everything when it said, "I was an emperor, and had a golden goblet. Now I am any drunkard's wine pot." Friend, listen to what I have to tell of the truth. Stay with the red wine and the silver body. Whoever made the world could not care less about the pair of mustaches you are and the beard I am. Were I to find fruit on the branch of hope, I'd find the end of my life's thread there. How much longer must I be in existence's narrow straits? If only I could find the door to oblivion. Take up the cup, dearest, and the jug. Sit at ease in the green field by the edge of the stream. The vile wheel 100 times over has made many dear ones into cups and jugs. How long, boy, will you chatter about the 5 senses and the 4 elements? What matter if the puzzles be 1 or 100,000? We are dust. Strum the harp, boy. We are air, boy. Bring out the wine. For all that I look on every side, in the garden flows a brook from the river of paradise. Since this meadow is like enough paradise, talk less of the river of paradise. Sit in your paradise with a heavenly-faced girl. Rest content, your passionate humor was concocted yesterday. Yesterday all your lust was implanted. How can I recount that not at your asking, your tomorrow was fixed yesterday? If chance supplied a loaf of white bread, 2 casks of wine, and a leg of mutton, in the corner of a garden with a tulip-cheeked girl, there'd be enjoyment no sultan could undo. If the firmament's transactions had been weighed justly, all of its states would turn out to be agreeable. If there were any justice in the workings of the spheres, how could the minds of men of discernment ever be afflicted?